Now, there have been some very interesting changes within the Jubilee ruling party, and these changes, they're quite shocking. And the interesting thing is that everybody seems to have missed these very, very subtle, very major changes within the Jubilee party. Now, the changes within the Jubilee party are such that they're set to affect each and every Kenyan, whether or not you're a member of the Jubilee party. Just like in the old days, KANU was mama na baba. And you know why people used to say KANU was mama na baba? Because whether you supported KANU or not, whether you are sympathetic to KANU or not, as long as you're in Kenya, the policies of this KANU party affected you greatly. Indeed, even if you are Kenyan outside the country, the policies of KANU still affected you. KANU was mama na baba. But now, courtesy of the latest changes within the Jubilee party, Jubilee is going to be much more than just mama na baba. Let me explain. It is no secret that Jubilee party officials have been making very regular visits to China. It is no secret that Jubilee has been very, very closely cooperating with the Chinese government on a number of things, including, wait for this one, party structure of the Jubilee party. Now, recently, some very senior Jubilee party officials have just come out of a major training by officials of the Chinese ruling party, the CPC, and now all is left is for them to implement, the Chinese communist system, into Jubilee, to implement the draconian, Chinese system into Kenya. That's really what it is. Now, if you think Jubilee are not serious, then consider this. We have a cabinet minister appointed to the cabinet called Raphael Tuju. Now, Raphael Tuju is a cabinet secretary without portfolio. Okay? However, based on what I've just been informed, and based on what has been happening in the past, I can tell you something. Bwana Tuju is going to be by far the most powerful cabinet secretary. Why? Because his work, and this is no secret because Jubilee are sharing it openly, his work is going to be to ensure that the Jubilee manifesto is fully implemented within government. What does that mean? It means that he touches on each and every ministry within government. Okay? And it also means that he overrules each and every cabinet secretary. Why? Because if a cabinet secretary, for instance, goes in a direction that is against the Jubilee manifesto, it is Bwana Tuju's work to tell them no. Okay, you're going against the Jubilee party manifesto. Stop whatever you're doing, whether it is good or bad. This is against the Jubilee party manifesto. Now, the Jubilee party are very serious about this thing, because barely a month ago, you remember that trip the president had to South Africa? The trip where one Raphael Tuju miraculously and dramatically appeared from nowhere. Now, let me give you a very interesting aside here, okay? And this aside is concerning the disappearance and then sudden appearance of Raphael Tuju, okay? Now, there are all kinds of rumors flying around as to the whereabouts of Tuju, but one that gained a lot of traction was that actually he was in a Tanzanian prison. Now, the relationship between the South African government and the Tanzanian government is very, very close. Now, this one has been a puzzle, especially for Kenyans living within Tanzania, because when they go to look for things like work permits, when they go to seek certain things in government, they just can't compete with South African nationals, and some of these South African nationals are Mzungus. Now, let me solve that mystery for you. And it's historical, okay? Now, when the ANC was founded at the beginning of the last century, it operated under very difficult circumstances, One of the major problems it had was financing, okay? Now, guess who financed the ANC, okay? And this is relevant to both the Tuju story and to what we're covering here, about communism coming into Kenya through the back door. It was funded by some African countries. And top on that list of African countries financing the ANC was Tanzania. Now we know that the ANC party is in power in South Africa. So here is the ANC party, yeah. You have a country which has been financing you for decades, yes, to operate. It helped you, in fact, that country can take credit as one of the countries on the forefront to ending apartheid and into bringing ANC into power, yeah, against the formidable South African Wazungu apartheid government. Now, even today, what can that country ask from you that you will not grant? Nothing. Yeah? And in the same way, nothing you ask them can they refuse to grant. Now, all these are theories, but they're compelling theories. And so if Tuju's disappearance had something to do with Tanzania, it makes a lot of sense, yeah, for that problem to end where? In South Africa. Yeah, South Africa being used as a mediator, a go-between, yeah, between, let's say, the government of Kenya, which wants Tuju back from wherever he is, and the government of Tanzania, which people have insisted for months, yeah, was holding some top Jubilee official. And in any case, we know that relations between Nairobi and Dar es Salaam are at an all-time low, okay? Anyway, on with our current story. Now, of course, the other major financier of the ANC was the Soviet Union, Russia, communist Russia. And therefore, you'd expect that the ANC has a lot of structures, a lot of ideas that were used in the old draconian Soviet Russia. The whole idea being to mobilize each and every citizen, and those who refuse to be mobilized, yeah, into your party, yeah, or into toeing the line with your party, suddenly find themselves at a great disadvantage, yeah, because you're the party in power. And so shortly before Tuju suddenly appeared, yeah, from nowhere, yeah, we had President Uhuru Kenyatta and the top person in the Jubilee party, Bwana David Murathe, traveling together to South Africa, okay? Now, we're not told the reason then, but now we know that the Jubilee officials, led by Bwana David Murathe, held a lot of meetings with the ANC. Yeah, the whole idea was to try and learn from the party structure of the ANC, so that they come back to Kenya and implement that. And of course, Bwana Raphael Tuju joined Bwana Murathe. He was in the team after appearing from nowhere. And this was the whole mission in South Africa. This was, of course, during the 100-year celebration of the ANC. And so, folks, what we should expect going forward, and this is now very clear, is that we should expect a very draconian system within the Jubilee Party. A system within the Jubilee Party to ensure they pull in everybody, including those people who do not agree with their policies, including those people who do not agree with the draconian government that came into power illegitimately. In other words, the final touches to a proper dictatorship are being put in place, even as I make this recording. If you thought Jubilee dictatorship would only be seen nationally, yeah, then you are wrong. Now it is going to go right down to the grassroots and countrywide. Yeah. Now, if you're listening to this and you're a member of the Jubilee Party, I just want to let you know that actually, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, the Jubilee Party is now officially a hardline communist party. Now, if you have no idea what communism is all about, okay, what I suggest is just wait for a few weeks and months, and you'll clearly be able to see what it is. Yeah. Or if I can use the Swahili catchphrase, if you don't know what communism is, haujui utajua. Now, there are a lot of tactics within these communist systems, especially to do with the mobilization of the masses, yeah, and of the people, that is very much against our 2010 constitution, yeah. But who cares in Jubilee? Who is asking, yeah? Because Jubilee are in power. And it seems, according to them, they can do anything they want to do. Because they have power. Yeah, they control state machinery. They control everything. And so, utadu. Now I dare say that this latest move that we're seeing within Jubilee is very, very consistent with the way Jubilee has been operating. Okay? Because if somebody tells you today, welcome to the Communist Republic of Kenya, yeah? And then, you get a shock. But then they quickly follow it with a statement like, where the government deports its own natural, born in the country citizens to another country. Okay? And where there's a current very, very serious crackdown on the opposition. Yeah? In the old Russian communist system, they would call them purges. There's a purge on the opposition. Oh boy. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.